Hey traders, how's everybody doing? It is Tuesday, July 15th. Hope you've been taking care of yourselves and making some good trades since the last time I made a video. Today is going to be an interesting one because I did something a little bit different than what my normal strategy is, and there's a very specific reason why I did what I did, and what I did worked out. And that's what we're going to go over today. So, like I've said in the past, whenever there's something new to talk about, I'm going to come back and make a new video for everybody. And today there is definitely something new to talk about because I changed up my approach a little bit, and it worked out for me. So I'm going to put up the results today. As you can see, I made just over $10,000 in 5 minutes this morning. So that was very nice. It's been a little while since I've had a $10,000 day. So I was definitely excited about that. But it's not just about having a $10,000 day. It's about how I did it and like what the plan was to get me here. And basically, in a nutshell, the plan was the taco trade. That's what it was. The Trump always chickens out trade. And at this point, I think it doesn't even really matter what he ends up doing. What matters is how the market actually responds to it. And so this is an example of sometimes when you play the long game, like in my mind, this trade was all about the long game because just to break it down from the beginning, the reason that I did this is because at this point, after everything that's happened since he took office, I think everybody knows that the threat of tariffs is always just a negotiation tactic. It's not a serious thing. It's not like we're going to put tariffs on you and they're going to stick and that's that. I'm going to say that we're going to do tariffs, and then the whole point is to try to make a deal. I don't think that that's really news to anybody. I feel like most people at this point, given the results of what's happened over and over again with the tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs on, tariffs off, at this point, whenever he announces a new tariff, the first thing you got to say is, well, how long is this going to last? Because everybody knows it's not going to last. So that's the basis for what my trade was. Usually when I'm trading, as you know, if you've watched any of the videos on my channel here, I'm looking for the same week. I'm looking to get in somewhere between Monday and Thursday and then get out on Friday. But after Thursday, after the market closed, he made his Canadian tariff announcement. And the first thing I said was, okay, this is not going to last. The question is, when will the tariff threat be removed? And more importantly, how much less will the market actually react to this based on what it has done in the past? So I opened up a position on Friday, and I didn't sell anything on Friday. I just held my entire position, and I actually lost money on Friday because I opened up a bunch of call options on NVDA specifically. I traded a few other things, but NVIDIA was the main one. And then I had a smaller position on AMD, and I had a smaller position on Meta, which has actually lost me money. So that's a totally different story. But, it's just, the fact is you can have losing trades individually, but still be like way up on your position as a whole. And, that's where I'm at right now because, I'm at this current moment, I'm up over $10,000. And yet I've lost money on Meta, but it doesn't matter if you're losing money on one particular trade if you're cleaning up on the others. So anyway, back to the idea of the trade. He announces the Canada tariffs on Thursday. Price just falls through the floor, open up lower on Friday. I open up the position, price falls, add to the position, held it over the weekend because I did not get last Friday's expiry on last Friday. I got this coming Friday's expiry when I opened up the position. Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, even if he doesn't take the tariffs back within this next week, the market is not going to react as substantially as it's reacted in the past. So if you remember when the whole Liberation Day thing first happened, I made a ton of money on that because the market just severely reacted, because at that point, nobody really knew whether he was for real or whether it was just a ploy. And since then, we found out that this type of stuff is always just a ploy. It's like the boy who cried wolf, Trump with his tariffs is like the boy who cried wolf. So we all know it's not going to stick. The only question is, how long is it going to go before he takes it back? And then secondly, how much less aggressively is the market going to react this time than it did last time? I did something a little bit different than what I usually do, and I was thinking about it in a little bit of a longer term perspective and thinking to myself, I'm going to go out of the money, pretty substantially out of the money, and I'm going to get a lot more contracts going out of the money, and I'm going to hold them longer because I have a very strong feeling that we're going to turn around, price is going to come back, and then we're going to, just keep on climbing for the next week. And on Friday, I can't remember where NVIDIA was on Friday, but you can go back and check that for yourself. But I got the strike price of 170 on my call options. And at the time when I got that strike, that was very much out of the money. And this is different than what I usually do, because I usually will buy contracts that are either at the money or slightly in the money. And most of the time, I do think that that's the smartest way to do it, especially when you're looking at some sort of a more slower moving, stable, large cap stock like Apple, for example. Apple's never going to have the wild ups and downs the way that something like NVIDIA can have wild ups and downs. So if I was trading Apple, I would definitely be thinking more in terms of staying in the money or at the money and taking a smaller position. But because of the fact that I thought that the taco trade was definitely going to be in play, I thought these tariffs are going to get taken off, whether it's next week or not. That doesn't even really matter, because what matters more is that the market is not going to respond as aggressively to it this time like they did the times before. And I think that every time one of these tariff threats goes on, I think the market is going to respond less and less aggressively each time. Because it's, like I said, it's like the boy who cried wolf. Everybody's going to go, yeah, okay, sure, more tariffs, okay. And so I was counting on that to work in my favor, and it did. And I mean, I definitely had some help in the sense that I had some luck, because I guess Jensen Huang talked to Trump personally, and that's how he got the go-ahead to still be able to sell their chips to China, something like that. So, I mean, that was definitely luck. I did not foresee that part happening. So I believe I definitely would have made money, but I made a lot more money because of the Jensen Huang Trump conversation. And, as you saw overnight last night, I mean, just the gap up was insane. And so that's why as soon as the market opened up today, I had an extra 10 grand in the account. And I did close some of my position, and but I still have some of the position open. So I banked like 10K, and I've still got half of that position open, and it's only Tuesday. And my expiry is this Friday, and I'm still in the money right now. So it's looking good. And I'm going to just continue to hold it open. Even though you can have success doing one thing and do the same thing over and over again, when you see specific opportunities to do a certain thing, you have to take advantage of those specific opportunities. Now, do I normally open huge positions that are out of the money on a Friday? No, I don't. In fact, I can't say that I've ever opened a position as big as the one I opened on NVIDIA last Friday and went so far out of the money when I opened it. That's normally something I do not do. But I did it because there was a very specific set of things that I saw happening. And because of that specific set of things I saw happening, that's why I did what I did. Everything that you do when you trade needs to be intentional. You need to have intent on every move you make. You can't ever just wake up in the morning and go, I feel like opening up a short position on Amazon today with no reasoning behind it. Like you've got to have a bunch of reasons, or maybe not a bunch of reasons, but you need to have at least a couple of very strong reasons that you can logically back up for why you're doing what you're doing. And so for me, on Friday, the huge out of the money NVIDIA call options play on Friday is for a number of reasons. First of all, like I just said, market fell out huge overnight on Thursday because of the tariff announcement on Canada. But I said, this is not going to matter at all because he's either going to take the tariffs off immediately or the market is going to rebound from this immediately because institutional traders are going to realize at this point it's just a negotiation tactic and it's not real. And that, largely has happened. And for another thing, I thought NVIDIA specifically, it's been trading at like all-time highs. It's something that's very volatile. And I thought, if anything, what's really going to pop when this taco trade works out is something like an NVIDIA that's got a lot of eyes on it. It's got a lot of people trading it. And it's something that I felt like I could go out of the money simply because I know it moves so much in the course of one day. So yes, it was a risk. Everything in trading is a risk. But it was a calculated risk. And the risk was calculated based on what I just explained to you. So when you can look at the totality of things and say, what does all this mean? And where can I get my edge from these particular things happening? And then actually do it. And don't be afraid to open up large positions if you think that you've got the data on your side. And that's what I did on Friday. And I've still got it open as of right now. And we're doing great. And I'm just going to continue to play this trade out. I might close a few more of my contracts today. I did also have some on AMD, smaller position that I closed for, I think, a couple $1,000s profit earlier today on AMD. So no more AMD, but I still have the NVIDIA contracts open, and I'm going to be keeping those open for the next couple of days. So I think it's still got legs, and I'm going to keep rolling with it. But I hope that maybe some of you guys also took advantage of the taco trade on Friday. And if the same thing happens again, I think that you can keep doing it over and over. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if past is prologue, then you know that whenever he talks about huge tariffs on somebody, you know that the next thing that's going to happen is the market's going to fall out for a short amount of time, and then things are going to stabilize, and then it's going to come up. So the next time you hear about some kind of big tariff announcement, you could go short immediately and look to capitalize on a very, very quick, like scalpy gain that you can get from going short. Or you could try to wait until we get to the bottom and you see an actual sign of that we've hit the bottom for real and it's not like a dead cat bounce. And when it starts to turn around, you could get in long, knowing that at that point, you've got a good price on whatever you're trying to get. And you know that, since it's the taco trade, whatever tariff announcement is being claimed, that's not going to last. So yeah, that's the meta game that we're playing right now in the market, at least what I'm doing. So, what I'm doing has been working. So no reason why it can't work for you as well. So that's it for now. Hope everybody's doing well and continue to trade well. And, as always, if you want to check out my book or my video course, you can get those. My video course is on lonewolftradingclub.com. Got 2 video courses, actually, and 2 books that I've written on amazon.com. Secrets of the Lone Wolf Trader and Mastering the Mental Game. You can get both of those. I'm actually working on another book right now that will be out. I don't want to say real soon because I hate to make promises and then realize I need an extra 2 months when I thought I would need 2 weeks. But at some point, relatively soon, I will have my next book coming out as well. So until next time, take care of yourselves, everybody. Bye-bye.